no, Mrs. Barton, no one's complaining of your efficiency as a cleaner. It's just that the new personnel officer thought a little more attention to detail on every...
Well, that's good then, isn't it, Mr. Lever? We must write this Mr. Mackay a nice letter.
That would be a good idea, Mrs. Thursday. He's worked long and hard for us over this, and the personal touch would be appreciated.
Yes, doesn't sound like Mr. Dunwich to have let things slide all that time.
Ambition should be made of sterner stuff.
What?
Shakespeare. You know, George loved that part of Essex and got it through his head that one day he'd build a new town there. Only a very special town on a precise site with precise features. Nothing less would do. It's just a matter of waiting for the properties to become vacant.
And that's only just happened. Where is that girl? Oh, dear.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Just remembered. My secretary. I said she could have the morning off. Her mother's been ill in hospital. I said she could fetch her.
Ah, you're far too easy with them. I'll get you my girl. Oh, no, just a minute.
What is it?
No, she's not in either. Not due until 10. She's got an important due tonight and wanted to get her hair done. Typing pool, please.
Isn't there something I can do to help? Shall I send out for some aspirin? A bottle of nerve tonic?
I'm quite all right, thank you.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to lie down for a few minutes?
No! Number 22, the Services Office at once, please. Number 22, dictation. Number 23, the
Miss
Services
Thursday.
Office, please.
But you're not number 23.
Yes.
Oh, but you can't go like that. Not to Mrs. Thursday. I'll speak to the supervisor. Miss Scott, wait! Why won't you let me help you? We in personnel are simply...
You in personnel? I know all about you, don't I? You're very concerned to keep the staff happy.
Yes, well, of course we are.
That's facilities to make sure we keep our fingernails clean and don't use dirty words in front of visitors. It's just like home, isn't it? Oh, you stuck up.
So there was just this one piece of land we couldn't lay our hands on in
Well,
the
that's
end.
right. He was blocking the whole development until Mackay worked the oracle yesterday.
Who is Mackay?
Oh, country solicitor.
Come in. Oh, yes, come in, sit down, dear. There'll be a letter in a minute.
I'll look it all out for you if you like. As I remember, there was a family mansion involved. Run-down place which the owners wouldn't sell for their own wonderful reasons, so we were hamstrung.
Oh, well, then it's only sort of... But if this town plan meant as much to Mr. Dunwich as you say, surely he could have found... Hello? You've got a cold coming, Mr. Lever. Now, you be careful. Take my advice.
I haven't got a cold.
I said you've got one coming.
Oh, it's not our day for secretaries, Mrs. Thursday.
Is something wrong, dear?
No, I'm all right.
All right, you sit there sniffling and snuffling and tell us you're all right.
Oh, don't speak to her like that. Here, have a little drink. Sip it now, or you'll get the hiccups.
Oh, you want someone to type a letter on?
No. You sit down. Sip that like I say.
Oh, well, that was
I think we'd better carry on with our talk later on, Mr. Lever. And I'll get that letter off to Mr. Mackay as soon as I can.
Secretaries.
What's your name, dear?
Brenda
Brenda what?
Scott.
Well, what's the matter?
I can't tell you.
Oh, come on. I might be able to help.
Well, she's an old bag. And I hope she breaks her leg and they shoot her for treating me the way she has done this morning.
You mustn't talk about people like
Oh, well,
that.
I can't help it, but she gets under my skin the way some people can. Oh, what were you talking about? Oh, else but Miss Bonamy. You're chief of personnel. I should have rocked out with it.
Oh!
So you see, Mr. Beacon, basically a question of old-fashioned good manners. Nowadays, people seem to have got into their heads that courtesy is a waste of time and consideration a weakness. But, of course, that isn't so. In any event, that's all I said to Miss Scott, nothing more. I do hope she wasn't too upset. That's the last thing I want. Did you speak to her, Mr. Beacon?
Well, yes, I did, but I think this is very much a woman's matter.
I'll see her at lunchtime then and make sure she's all right. How strange. There was a time when one knew exactly where one stood with girls like that. Now, it isn't clear at all. Was there anything else, Mr. Beacon?
Well, as a matter of fact, I hope you won't think this an impertinent question, Miss Bonamy.
Do go on.
Did you say anything else to Miss Scott to make her so upset? Oh, well, I've seldom seen anyone so rattled.
Really? Well, there's no doubt about what I said to her, Mr. Beacon. Nana. I simply said...
She never.
She did.
You sure?
She said, take the common edge off your tongue, remember, call speech your friends.
Goodness.
And she said, the other girls in the pool, they don't speak as badly as you. It's your business to consider them. That's what she said.
Did she?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm not having that. How long has she been here?
Well, don't you know?
Oh, well, people join the firm and get pensioned off. I don't always hear. When was it you come up against her?
Oh. Well, it was only about a week ago. It was about the second or the third time she come round to the pool. You see, I was carrying an awful lot of papers as I was walking down the corridor, and, well, I nearly bumped into Sir Charles Barker. Well, she had something pretty nasty to say right then. And then, until the other day, she was passing my desk. Until this morning, she asked me up into her office.
Oh, don't start the waterworks again, dear.
Oh, you know what she said? She said I had an impuree. What? A dreadful gallstone.
Oh, gets worse and worse. Mr. Lever? Oh, well, now listen. We got somebody working here called Miss Judith
Bonamy.
Bonamy. We have. Well, who is she? Where did she come? The best references when the other one retired? Well, you seem to know a lot about it. Oh, you did. Oh, the file. Well, I would like to see it, yes, as soon as you can. Thank you. Oh, so she got all hoity-toity because of the way you speak, did she?
Yes.
Oh, she's got another thing coming. Now, you sit there, Brenda, until you're feeling better. And I'll go and see this fine lady.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Thursday, but the file's gone downstairs again. I'll have to send for it, but I've dug these. Oh, where's Mrs. Thursday?
She's gone, sir.
When she comes back, tell her those are the documents I promised her relating to the East Essex New Town project, would you?
Very good, sir.
Come in. What can I do for you?
Miss Bonamy?
Yes? We haven't an appointment, have we? There's nothing in my diary.
I'm Mrs. Thursday.
Mrs. Thursday. Oh, how delightful. Of course, I realized we should meet sooner or later, but I wasn't quite sure whether it was my business to call on you or wait till you sent for me. These things have become so confused nowadays, haven't they? Do sit down, will you?
Well, as a matter of
And Mr. Beacon will find us some tea. Mr. Beacon?
Yes, sir.
I really
Oh,
don't think...
No trouble at all. Do sit down. Well, this is nice. But I'm afraid I'm hardly settled in here yet, but it's a lovely office, and I know I'm going to be happy.
Miss Bonamy.
My immediate task is to meet the staff, of course. And I hope I shall get to know them all very well.
Like you got to know the little Brenda Scott girl, I suppose.
I'm sorry?
Miss Bonamy, I've come down here to have a plain talk with you about Brenda Scott.
The little Scott girl. Oh, great heavens, you can't mean... Oh, dear. She hasn't offended you, too.
What?
Really? This is too much. I told her supervisor to be careful about what duties she was allocated. How on earth did she happen to cross your path?
Well, never mind that for now. What I want to know is how you come to get this job here exactly. I mean, I leave that sort of thing to other people. But every now and again, I like to try and find out what's going on.
I see. Well, I simply applied for the position in the ordinary way, Mrs. Thursday. A vacancy was advertised for a personnel officer. I applied and eventually came and talked the matter over with a Mr. Lever, I think it was.
Yes, Mr. Lever took you on.
He did. He said my references were perfectly satisfactory. I've been in personnel work since the war, you know.
Yeah, and you ought to know, oughtn't you? I mean, to read the riot act to a kid like that just because she don't talk with a cut-glass accent.
I beg your pardon.
Brenda Scott, you told her to take the common edge off her tongue now, didn't you?
I did, and I'd do the same again in similar circumstances.
Oh.
She came charging down the corridor with an armful of papers and cannonaded into Sir Charles Barker. And you know what she said to him? She said, "Call mate, you'd make a better ice pack than a river, wouldn't you?"
She said that?
To Sir Charles Barker. And a day later, her supervisor complained that she described certain instructions as A load of old codswallop, I believe that was the term. Also, Brenda suggested that the supervisor should get herself knotted.
Huh?
So finally, this morning, I decided to speak firmly.
She said you'd make a better iceberg than a... Well, you can't help laughing, can you? The expressions these kids pick up.
Really, I don't think it is very funny.
No. No, I suppose she had to be told off. They get these things off the telly, I think, a lot of them. Oh, well.
I'm sorry it's all turned out like this, Mrs. Thursday. I can't apologize enough. No doubt I should have been much more careful with a gal of that sort.
That sort? What do you mean, that sort?
Well, simply...
That she's common. Didn't go to a posh school, is that it? Well, you could say the same thing of me, couldn't you? If there's one thing I can't take, it's a person being stuck up. I'll give you fair warning, miss. What's the matter?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Are you ill?
No, I'm not ill. I never get ill. Dear me, so stupid. I do apologize. So stupid.
Any aspirin?
In my handbag. So kind. So very kind. Thank you.
Oh, why doesn't Beacon come with that tea? Now then, you drink this. Better?
Dear Mrs. Thursday, I'm just not your sort of person at all, am I?
What?
I'm not. I know your story naturally enough. Well, mine's almost the opposite. Before the war, you see, I was one of the idle rich.
Fancy?
We took no thought for the morrow, I'm afraid. We were convinced that our sort of life, our authority, would last forever.
Yes, of course. Well, don't you think you'd better lie down somewhere for...
Oh, no, thank you, really. So unlike me. Extraordinary.
Miss Bonamy, well, what happened? Your family, I mean. You're working. You said you were rich.
Well, we were.
Well, what happened?
Oh, death and taxation. We lost first one piece of land, then another. It was quite relentless. Till finally, there was only the old house left. And me.
Oh, you got the house then?
Yes, I could never let that go. I can't afford to keep it up now, of course. The old house is falling down. Senile. Just like my poor father before he died. I saw him through to the end, and I shall see the house through, too. I dare say.
Miss Bonamy? Miss Bonamy? Is she ill? Do you know? Been like this before?
Well, it has happened once or twice. Excitement over something or other, and then unconsciousness coming down like a blind. It's very strange.
Spinley Hall? Spinley Hall in Essex? I don't believe it.
Well, that's what it says there, doesn't it? I'd forgotten the name of the place, frankly.
Good Lord.
Why, do you know it?
I should say I do. In a sense, it's where I was launched.
What?
Yes, first real job I ever had, Spinley. Oh, I went through rather an odd period in my youth when I ran away from school and had to take whatever work I could get. Junior groom in the stables they made me. 7 and 6 a week in my keep. Make a bed in the hayloft in summer, share a room with a gardener's boy in winter. Hey-ho, a life without care. And a few perks on the side. Ah, good morning, Mrs. T. Guess what?
No, I don't feel like guessing. What is it?
Well, it's Spinley Hall. I was just telling Mr. Lever I used to work as a groom there.
You what?
Yes, believe it or not, in the stables at 16. For a family called Bonamy.
Who did you say?
Bonamy. Oh, great family down there at the time. Why, what's the matter, Mrs. T?
Bonamy?
Yes, you've just spotted Spinley Hall, the ancestral home of the ancient family of Bonamy.
Oh, yes?
My dear Miss Barnaby, it is my duty to inform you that following the document empowering me to do so, I have negotiated the sale of Spinley Hall and remaining effects. Remaining effects. Remaining effects. Remaining effects. Remaining effects.
Mr. Mackay?
Mr. Hunter?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, not at all.
Seems much smaller now.
Smaller?
Are the old stables still standing, Mr. Mackay?
Oh, yes.
And the servants' quarters?
Hey, all 12 bedrooms of them.
You seem to have caught a cold, Mr. Mackay.
Yes, but damn glad it isn't pneumonia. A country solicitor's life, one drafty mansion after another. None of these places can be adequately kept in order, you know. Yet one's clients seem to insist one should keep a personal eye on them.
Yes, well, nobody could say you failed in your duty in this case.
What do you mean by that? I did what I thought was best.
How long have you been Miss Bonhami's solicitor, Mr. Mackay?
In this matter, 6 years.
And, when did you, first conceive the notion of, selling the place over her head?
What did you say?
Well, you have, haven't you?
What the devil do you mean?
Oh, come now, Mr. Lever's been in touch with you for the last 18 months. You're not too honest to do the only possible thing, are you? Good Lord. You know, I believe this is part of what we used to call the Queen's set. I've cleaned it often enough. Shouldn't be left lying about.
Too honest to do the only possible thing, Mr. Hunter.
Of course. I don't blame you. Miss Bonham was in debt, wasn't she?
Outrageously.
A mortgage.
Well, how else do you suppose she managed to keep possession of this crumbling pile? I tell you, I thought she was mad at times. Certifiable. It was like an article of faith with her. Spinley Hall must not be sold. But then, of course, she'd no understanding of money at all. We were soon in trouble at the bank.
Ah, so you went ahead on your own, is that it?
Well, I didn't have a great deal of choice in the matter.
Ah.
I didn't try and trick Miss Bonham and Mr. Hunter. It was a perfectly straightforward document. If she didn't fully understand all the implications of it, it wasn't for my want of trying to explain them to her. She simply didn't believe the banks would ever foreclose. In her day, banks didn't foreclose on the quality. What the devil do you think you're doing, Mr. Hunter?
Oh, just trying to convince myself I haven't lost the touch. Nice to know you've a trade to fall back on. What about Miss Bonhamy? This was her trade, this house. She's not got much to live for now, has she? Does she know who her home's been sold to?
Well, no. I saw no point in telling her it was a property development company. Mr. Lieber insisted on a certain secrecy anyway.
And someone will soon have to face it. I only hope it isn't me. Well, sic transit gloria mundi. Well, it's a rule of the game, of course. Make way for tomorrow. I didn't think I'd be chosen to give the pass so hearty a shove.
Mrs. Thursday? It'll be all right for you to see her for a little while now.
What's the matter with her, Doctor? I mean, when she was taken ill, what happened?
Well, a neighbour found her. She had a letter in her hand informing her that her old home in Essex had been sold up. Well, apparently it meant a great deal to her, and a sale was the last thing she expected.
I see.
Not that that can be the whole story, of course. Tell me, how well do you know her, Mrs. Thursday?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, not very well, really. I mean, she hadn't been long at Dunwich House. And really, so far, all we'd done was have an argument.
I see. Well, she doesn't seem to have any friends, and I understand the family are all dead.
Yes, I think so.
Well, our reports have revealed a definite hypertension, some anemia, and a degree of malnutrition.
I see.
I can only assume that she's been going without proper food in order to keep up this old home of hers.
Oh, dear.
Then there's this catnapping she's subject to. Oh, yes, that's the most interesting part of all. It obviously has a psychological basis.
Pardon?
Well, I hope you'll do what you can for Mrs. Thursday. She really does need help. Don't stay more than a few minutes this first time, please.
Mrs. Thursday.
Hello, Miss Bonnery, dear. Are you feeling better?
Why didn't they tell me? I'm not prepared for visitors.
Oh, that's all right.
They should have said someone was coming.
But you look nice, Miss Bonnery. Really, you do.
Still should have told me, really. From the moment I arrived here, I've been asking when they're going to put me into a private room. Anyway, I'm not ill, really. I'm never ill.
What's the matter, then?
Did you know? Do you know they've sold Spinley?
What did you say, dear?
Spinley Hall, my family home. Surely I told you about it, Mrs. Thursday. They've sold it without my consent.
How could they do that?
I've been let down by my solicitors, it seems. I don't understand about the law, but I fail to see how anyone who knew remotely what Spinley meant to me, how anyone could even contemplate.
Look, you mustn't get upset, dear.
But who's bought it, Mrs. Thursday? Perhaps I wouldn't mind so much if I could know that. You've got a family. Children who bring the house to life again. On the other hand, there are some people who might look upon Spinley as a place to be destroyed. Oh, dark.
Oh, look, dear, I've got something funny to tell you. I've been meaning to tell you ever since I found out about it. You know our Mr. Hunter?
Hunter?
Dunwich House, you know, my financial advisor's what I call him. He knows your house.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Hunter, he knows your house, Spinley Hall.
You mean this Mr. Hunter has some connection with Spinley?
Had? Yes, spent some little time there before the war, I think it was. Quite a while.
Strange, I don't remember him. And in finance?
Oh, no, not Mr. Hunter, isn't. Not then. No, when he was at Spinley Hall, he had nothing to do with finance. The opposite.
The opposite? Mrs. Thursday, what do you mean, please?
Well, you were paying him, see? He worked there.
Worked at Spinley?
As a groom in the stables.
Mrs. Thursday, are you trying to tell me that in this vast enterprise you control, your financial advisor is an ex-groom from Spinley?
Ah, yes, but there was Sir Charles and Mr. Lever. They got the good of the firm at articles. Miss Bonamy?
Oh, it's a changed world, no doubt about that. An upside-down world. One of those scruffy little stable boys now in a position to... could probably... Oh, dear God.
Oh, look, Miss Bonamy, look, I brought you some fruit. Some nice black grapes. The doctor said you could have fruit.
Has she gone round the twist, then? Clean off her trolley?
No, it's the way she wants it.
We go to all this trouble to get Spinley Hall, and now she says we'll do nothing with it.
You go to all this trouble to get Spinley Hall.
Well, all right, but I was thinking of the firm, wasn't I? Of our commitment to the East Essex project. And I behave with consideration throughout the whole deal. What's all that in aid of?
I haven't lost the magic touch. Made this bit of leather supple again. With the aid of dear old Wonder Saddle Cream. 4 and 6pence a tin.
Now, listen to me, Hunter. Can't you get it through your head that neither you nor Mrs. Thursday are proving anything by talking of handing Spinley Hall back to Miss Bonamy? You're both of you wallowing in sentiment. I'm the only one that did anything practical. Well, knowing the sale was coming up and she'd be in trouble, I saw to it she got a job here as personnel officer.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course, you would do that, wouldn't you?
Well, it was a heaven-sent opportunity. There was a vacancy, she applied. Now, when she gets out of hospital, she'll have something to occupy her mind and keep her from brooding. She's due back with us almost any day now, isn't she?
Yes, this morning, as a matter of fact. Mrs. T has gone down to see to the reopening of her office personally. No wonder I didn't do that for more than a few months. Too much like hard work.
Oh.
Welcome back, Miss Bonamy. I've just been making the office tidy and nice for you.
So kind, Mrs. Thursday. I seem to be forever in your debt. Yes. It all looks charming. I'm really sorry that I'm not able to stay.
Not able to stay, Miss Bonamy? But you're quite better now, aren't you?
Oh, yes, I'm entirely recovered, thank you. I have to go back to the hospital from time to time for certain observations about the silly kidnapping habit of mine. But apart from that, I'm perfectly well.
Well, that's fine.
Mrs. Thursday, I've decided to resign my position here.
Resign? Goodness me, why?
I'm sure I haven't the abilities to do this job justice.
Oh, that's silly. Of course you've got the abilities.
Well, I can't accept pity, so it's much better I go. If I were to stay, there would doubtless be other incidents like that of the little Scott girl, and in that case, I'm still sure that I was right and you were wrong.
Oh,
no,
yes,
please. There's nothing more to say. I thought the whole matter over while I was in hospital, and I'm quite decided. Mr. Beacon, I think this is yours.
Oh, thank you.
But what are you going to do if you give up your job? You can't live on air, you know.
The only advantage of my house being sold is that I now have some money. Whoever bought it agreed very generous terms.
Ah, yes, the house. Well, that's what you've got to think about, isn't it? I mean, what to do for the best, and how you'd go on in case you was ever to get it back again.
I don't understand.
Well, I've got something to tell you, Mrs. Bonamy. Important. I was keeping it as a surprise, but I...
Morning, Mrs. T. Miss Bonamy. I just looked in to see if everything was shipshape.
Mr. Hunter, Miss Bonamy wants to take her cards and leave us.
Leave? Why should she want to do that?
Mrs. Thursday, what was it you had to tell me? You said it was important.
Well, perhaps I'd better go.
Oh, no, you stay, Mr. Hunter. I don't know where to start, really. Only the truth is, the person what bought your house, Miss Bonamy...
Yes?
Well, it was me. My company, I mean.
You mean all the time I was here? Even when you came to see me in hospital?
Yes, you see, Mr. Lever bought it for building development. But there's no hurry. And so for the time being, it can stay in your hands like it was before.
You bought my house? You?
Yes, what I'm trying to tell you, Miss Bonamy, is that I don't want to touch Spinley Hall. You can have it for as long as you need it.
Well, Mrs. Thursday means it, Miss Bonamy. Every word.
How much more do you mean to try to humiliate me, please? Is this an act of revenge for what I was once and what you were? I thank you for your kind offer, but I reject it utterly. And my job here, all part of it, that was to ease your conscience, no doubt.
No, I assure you, Miss Bonamy, Mrs. Thursday had nothing to do with that. In fact, she didn't know of the existence of Spinley until the negotiations were over. You must
Don't
wait,
touch
Miss
me.
Bonamy.
How dare you, you impertinent creature. Dear heaven, how you must have hated us. You must have schemed and plotted the whole of your life to bring about something like this. Well, all your money and all your scheming can't arrange this for you. Nothing can.
She's on her rocker. Oh, Miss Bonamy, that's the way here.
Oh, John, I'll get the other lift. Go down the stairs, Mr. Beacon.
Miss Bonamy. Miss Bonamy, are you at home? It's Mr. Beacon from the office. It's important. Miss Bonamy. Miss Bonamy.
Well, we've established that. At least we know she's not in a flat.
I got so worried to call the police. So they went up and broke the door down. Of course, she wasn't there. Is she very ill, Doctor?
Yes, I believe she is.
What is the matter with her?
Well, I didn't get a chance to complete my observations, Mr. Hunter. Miss Bonamy should have come back for further tests, but she didn't turn up.
No, well, she won't admit she's ill, see? No idea what's wrong.
Well, I believe it's largely psychological.
Oh, yes. The malnutrition.
Well, let's put it this way, Mrs. Thursday. There's a great deal of stress in her life.
Yes, well, there would be.
Yes, and from time to time, you see, she feels the need to get right away from things.
Yes, she must do.
And so she drops asleep.
What for?
Well, to blot out the pain.
Pain?
Yes, it's not so unusual, really.
What you're really trying to tell me is she's a bit... Is that it?
Well, there are certain powerful stresses at work. She really ought to be under some sort of supervision.
Oh, not Superintendent Hobbs again. No, it's up to Mr. Hunter and me to find her. Well, it was mostly Mr. Hunter's fault that she scarpered.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, and mine. So it's up to us to find her. Trouble is, where do we start?
Well,
You got a notion, Mr. Hunter?
yes, a germ of an idea is forming in my mind.
Mr. Hunter. You sure Miss Bonham is inside?
No, I'm not, but you think of a better idea. There's no place like home.
I wish we could have come here in the daylight.
Have no fear, Hunter is here. Bonamy? Miss Bonamy? You here?
Of course she isn't here. Tumble out down old place like this. I mean, no, what? It's crazy and I'm freezing.
Well, she probably wouldn't answer if she was here.
How could she live in a place like this? I mean, it's mad.
Well, we better have a look round.
Oh, what's the point?
Well, what's the point of coming all the way out here and going back again? Ah, Through here's the old dining room. Good. I remembered this candle branch from my last visit. Hold the torch, Mrs. T. We need some more light on the subject. I came prepared. Ah. Good. Ah.
What is it?
This fire's not so long died down by the feel, Mrs. T. Oh, she's here, all right. She must have run away to hide when she heard us coming.
Oh, dear.
Well, there's enough light here, I think. Now for the hall. Give me the torch, Mrs. T. I wonder if it's still there.
Oh, Mr. Hunter, don't let me...
Look.
What?
The old chandelier. I thought it couldn't have been removed. The family refused to connect it either for gas or electricity, so every night some poor devil of a footman had to light about 50 candles. Now, if there was something I could get up on...
There's no trunk over there.
Ah, just the job. Yes. Oh, no, that's not going to bear my weight.
Here, how about these?
Where'd you get those?
In the cupboard under the stairs, of course.
Trust you. Good. That should be about right. Now, you hand me the candles as I want them, Mrs. T. Yes, that socket should take one, I think.
Wouldn't it be best to wait till the others come? Mr. Lever said he'd be as quick as he could.
Oh, I didn't know Mr. Lever was coming.
He's bringing the doctor from the hospital.
Ah?
She was very definite about coming here. More candles, Mr. Hunter?
No, that's enough, I think. Ah, matches.
Eh?
What are you doing there? Did Mr. Phillips tell you to light the chandelier? Well, come speak up. Did Mr. Phillips tell you?
Yes, that's right, Miss Bonnaby. Mr. Phillips said I was to,
For a moment, I was afraid it might have been intruders. I really can't be too careful. So few servants in the house.
She's crazy.
Hunter, please, take this for me. One moment. Who are you?
Pardon?
I don't seem to know your face. What are you doing?
Oh, it's the new woman, Miss Bonnaby, just started today. From the agency, remember, Mr. Phillips said she was to report to you for her duties?
Oh, yes, of course. Your duties will be of a general nature, including some work upstairs. But you must always remember to be as quiet as possible up there because of my father, who's an invalid. What is your name?
I don't know.
Alice, Alice Jones.
Come, Alice. Help me set the table for dinner. I'm expecting an important guest tonight.
What's the game?
Well, she's round the bend, can't you see? We've got to humor her. It's all we can do.
Alice? Alice?
You're being called, Alice.
Alice? I think we'll use this tablecloth tonight and the best silver, the Queen's set. Mr. Broughton? This man who's coming to dinner tonight, do you know anything about him?
Oh, yes, that's Mr. Broughton, Ma'am. I have heard of him.
Yes, he's a newcomer to the district, enormously wealthy. A bookmaker, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
He makes his millions without effort, it seems to me, and nurses a consuming desire for the things that money can't buy. These self-made men. They think themselves our successors. Such donkeys. Alice, were you listening?
No.
Surely that can't be Mr. Broughton already. Alice, is dinner ready?
Yes, last time I was in the kitchen, cook said she thought it was ready for dishing up.
We must have the sherry first. Please, Hunter, I oughtn't to have to tell you your duties. Please answer the door.
Yes, at once, ma'am.
Go back to the table.
Such donkeys.
Hunter, about time. Have you found her? We saw that there were lights.
Shall I take your coat, sir?
Take my...
Miss Broughton is almost ready for you, sir. Dinner will be ready in a moment. If you'll follow me. Mr. Broughton.
Mr. Broughton, how very kind of you to come. I've been looking forward to meeting you. Alice, the sherry. Well, put the tray down.
On the table, Alice.
Welcome to the district, Mr. Broughton. May we be good neighbors, good associates.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Well, Mr. Broughton, I suppose I ought to say at once that I've given your proposal every consideration, and in spite of natural opposition from my father, I have come to the conclusion that you should have the land you require to extend your property. It's hard to name a price, of course, but I suggest £10,000. You find that a little high? Think of what you're buying, Mr. Broughton. Not just land, Bonamy land.
Well, yes.
Really? Anyone would imagine that what I'm doing is easy.
What's going on?
Do you think it can be easy, Mr. Broughton? Well, how much will you pay for the land then? Come, be honest. Name your price.
Well, the fact is...
£2,000? 2,000, really, Mr. Broughton? You must be making fun of me. You think I need the money here, do you? Yes, need it. Because of the upkeep of this vast house, because of my father, who's an invalid and who'll die soon, and crush me into more of debts and wretched trouble. You stand at the door like a bailiff. They're nearly finished now, you're saying. Almost crushed with taxes and debts and expense. Mr. Broughton, you will never be what we were. You will never step into our shoes. Make a world in your own image and likeness. And keep your jealous hands off ours. Mr. Lever, will you drive into the village and see if you can telephone an ambulance? We're going to need one.
Oh, be glad to,
Oh,
Doctor.
your coat, Mr. Lever.
Oh, the poor soul.
All right, Mrs. Thursday. We'll take good care of her.
Oh, Mrs. T. We'd better go. You know, it really is time this old place was pulled down.
All my money, and I can't help her.